Hi, my name is Cold Beer and let's start with Wolfenstein Franchise. I think I won't be lying when I say that on this sale every Wolfenstein game costs less than 10 euros or dollars. So yeah, in this alternative past, America is overrun with Nazis and only you can do the trick to make them all disappear, by leaving a bloody trail of their intestines and body fluids. And you are really good at this, a true master of the
Make a Nazi disappear?
magic trick. You have the guts, guns and desire to kill everybody in sight and spark the American Revolution. Wolfenstein: The New Order and The Old Blood has the best review scores among the modern Wolfenstein games, but I also liked Wolfenstein 2: The New Colossus, which gets way more criticism than those previous two titles. It's probably because I started to play modern Wolfenstein games from The New Colossus, and only then I tried New Order and Old Blood, so I don't know if that would be a good advice, probably not, but if you never played any of them, you can do as I did to be able to enjoy all of them. Also, if you like the idea of America being overrun with Nazi Germany, check out the TV series called The Man in the High Castle. It is a really great show. Papetura. This is a handcrafted puzzle adventure game made entirely out of paper. Along with atmospheric music, it creates a mysterious and unique paper world shrouded in shadow and light. Here you will live the story of a lonely paper creature trapped in a flowery prison. One day you manage to escape and find a magical being. Together you will have to face dark and flaming monsters, which will try to burn down your beloved paper world. The game is short, it will take only about 2 hours to beat. But that is okay, price is nice and positive reviews on Steam are above 90%. Here everything is made out of paper, from tiny insects, strange creatures and monsters to truly magical locations. You will also encounter interesting puzzles and beautiful animation. Game is suitable for everyone. There are no dialogues, just story and action. Halo: The Master Chief Collection. This iconic release includes 6 games built for PC and collected in a single integrated experience. Whether you are a longtime fan or meeting Spartans for the first time, the Master Chief Collection is the place for you to start or to continue your Halo gaming experience. People on Steam are affirming that this is the best way to play Halo nowadays. If you want the best quality Halo experience, play this version over Halo Infinite. The latter is free, but as for now it has a bit too many problems. Although updates are constant and it may become a serious game after all in the future. Like, you can still become an outstanding penis doctor if you try your best. Well, probably not, but don't lose your hope. So the Master Chief Collection will give you the best experience possible. The games are action infused, but the franchise also has a large storyline and are among the best story-heavy FPS games ever released. Thymesia. This is a dark fantasy action RPG with fast-paced combat and an interesting plague weapon system. In a kingdom where death rules, you will play as a mysterious character known by the codename Corvus. And as always, you are the kingdom's final hope, blah blah, the fate of the land is resting in your hands, and so on. You know, also it's a short game. It is possible to beat it in 6 hours, but hey, let's be fair and square and triangle. It ain't gonna happen unless you are a god of gamepad. Also, if you like tea with thymes, then you are strong and this game needs you. Amnesia: The Dark Descent. This is a first-person survival horror game about immersion, discovery and living through a nightmare, an experience that will chill you to the very core. You wake up without much memories and stumble through a narrow corridors as the distant cry is heard. It is getting closer, and you somehow are pretty much sure that there are no actual babies in this castle. You don't know what will you encounter here, but the fact is that the castle is huge, and you are not alone. And you have no weapon, you can only hide in the darkness. Funny thing is that the darkness makes you mad, and the light attracts nightmares. This is an absolute lose-lose situation. So in general, if you ever wanted to be an actual protagonist in any Lovecraftian story, Amnesia will do everything it can to make you actually feel the dread. It will make your palms sweaty and the hair on your back will stand up. The game endorses the Lovecraftian trope of madness as you travel deeper and deeper down the cellars and dungeons of an ancient castle. What will you find deep down below? Nothing very nice, I promise. The game is an absolute gem with overwhelmingly positive reviews on Steam. Pillars of Eternity Definitive Edition. You can't find this one in the search bar. You have to click on a simple Pillars of Eternity release and then you will find a bundle here. This is a great deal. For this price you will get the main game and all the DLC, so you'll have a complete game in one package. Pillars of Eternity is a great title, and if you like classic Baldur's Gate or Icewind games, you probably have heard about the game already. Pillars came to life after an unbelievably successful Kickstarter crowdfunding campaign, which raised more than $4 million. That is 4 times times more than you have face mites now crawling on your face. Yes, this is a wisdom you never wanted to possess. Now go and share it with your family members, don't be alone in this. So in Pillars of Eternity you become a hero and save people from a scary phenomenon known as Hollowborn. People are being born without a soul. Well, I guess that everyone is affected except people with specific hair color. You know, you can't lose what you don't have. Grounded. One of the smallest open-world games. You can only freely move around in your yard of several square meters. The trick is that the game follows the best traditions of famous movie
Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
And here you are literally shrunk to the size of an ant. So actually this world is vast, beautiful and dangerous place. You know, almost every predator is bigger than you. Probably a dog peeing on some flower can literally drown you in a way that you wouldn't want to be carved on your tombstone. So here we'll explore, build and survive together in this first-person multiplayer survival adventure. So can you thrive alongside the hordes of giant insects fighting to survive the perils of the backyard? Well, alone probably not, but if you have some friends or a loving mother-in-law, you can play the game together and have lots of fun. The rating on Steam hovers around 90%, and that is always a sign of a good game. Sunless Sea. This is a horror gothic game. Here you'll be able to explore the Victorian Gothic universe of fallen London, with a focus on exploration and exquisite storytelling. But be careful, some trips might lead you to a certain death, or worse, cannibalism, or the worst, lack of potato salad. Anyways, people really enjoy the beautiful art of this game. Here you'll also meet some very well painted Lovecraftian sea monsters, and the whole vibe in general is very ominous. Even though you will have to read walls of text here, you will do that with joy because the writing is fantastic. But don't expect fancy combat or fast plot lines full of exciting events. No, game is slow, but the brilliant storyline, writing quality and world building aspects are all handled very well. The only downside is, since you will die a lot, you will have to start over. If the giant crabs, sentient icebergs and swarms of bats don't get you, madness and cannibalism certainly will. And those nicely written texts won't seem as nice to read for the 10th time. Sunless Sea is more like choosing your own adventure novel than a game. If you like slow-paced, story-rich games, then get in the boat and try to fish the biggest marinated herring you can find. Yes, they come from sea already marinated, if you're lucky enough. Dishonored: Death of the Outsider. Here you are, a supernatural assassin with one important mission. You have to kill a godlike figure called the Outsider. As you can imagine, killing someone who is actually godlike is not an easy job even for a supernatural assassin. You'll have to journey deep into the underbelly of the city, where you will unravel some of the lost secrets. Along the way you will infiltrate underground fight clubs and black magic cults, and then retrieve... Yeah, the rest of the game's description is plain spoilers on Steam, avoid reading it. Anyway, as you hunt down the Outsider, you will face off against a new cast of enemies along the way. Armed with your weapons, gadgets and abilities, you will have to take down deadly foes by accepting contracts to find and eliminate optional targets throughout your mission. So you are an actual hitman here, well, hitwoman more accurately, and the game has a very positive review score on Steam, so it's obviously not a bad game. Deus Ex: Human Revolution Director's Cut. This is a stealth-based game, meaning that you can shoot your way through the enemies or sneak up behind them without being traced, hack systems to retrieve information, or use your social skills to extract information from key characters. There are always choices, multiple approaches, multiple paths and multiple tools at your disposal. People on Steam are talking that Deus Ex is really enjoyable, although very linear. But in this instance, the linear aspect is a good thing, because despite the fact that the game is guiding you in your path, it doesn't hold your hand or penis, and you are free to approach every situation as you please. And as I've mentioned before, the ways of playing are really numerous, and the only limit is your imagination. That also means that everyone without imagination has no limits at all. Let it sink. Yeah, also I can promise that in Deus Ex you will find many amazing music scores. The game has a really exceptional soundtrack which is creating an amazing atmosphere. Fallout 4. Here you can play from first or third person perspective. You can take items that lie around and roam across a big open world in search of adventure, absolutely ignoring the main quest and story. So basically it evokes, at least for me it did, the same feeling of freedom and exploration as the Elder Scrolls games. The main difference of course is the setting. Fallout 4 is a post-apocalyptic sci-fi game. It's filled with mutants and creepy facilities to explore. You can also join various factions, and that will immensely influence the outcome of the story. Sadly, Sadly, they don't have a potato salad faction you could join. That is a shame. The game, along with the third Fallout game, has only one really annoying feature. In both cases, I finished the game thinking that I have like 10 or more hours of gameplay left, and it ended absolutely unexpectedly and way too fast. So if you decide to play Fallout 4, keep that in mind. Roam around, do some side quests, do not rush the story. All three games, I mean third Fallout, Fallout New Vegas and Fallout 4 are great games. You have all my recommendations. Age of Mythology Extended Edition. Game takes place in the lost land of Atlantis and focuses on famous Nordic, Egyptian and Greek legends. Age of Mythology Extended Edition comes along with the expansion and the additional Golden Gift campaign, and that is nice. In the game you will train and use mythological creatures like Minotaur, Cyclops and other well-known monsters invented thousands of years ago. Yeah, back in the days it was really easy to impress. If you put a cow's head on a man's body, everyone was like,
Oh wow, so inventive, are you a genius?
or if you drew a man with one eye instead of two, that was the pinnacle of the creation back then. And now we look at all these bosses in the Elden Ring and we're like,
That is fine, I guess.
Anyway, in Age of Mythology you can call upon the gods for assistance in flattening enemy towns with meteors, punish your puny enemies with lightning storms, or drown them in the ocean of their own tears. Eastward. This game is cute, like literally the cutest thing. If you have a fluffy dog or fluffy rabbit at home, compared to Eastward your pet looks like a bald mole rat. I'm sorry. Of course, no offense to those who actually grow bald mole rats at home. You have a different worldview, my friend. I like you. So here you'll find a charming post-apocalyptic world. The story starts when in a deep underground secret facility a miner discovers a mysterious little girl named Sam. Together you will journey through decaying cities, encounter strange creatures and even stranger people. Basically, the game is a relaxing adventure for those who don't like to think a lot, because puzzles here are suitable for people with room temperature IQ, and dialogues can be copy-pasted to any children's book. Despite that, this game has something original in it, and it may be a great find to play with your family. Halo Wars Definitive Edition. Title includes improved graphics, new achievements and all the DLCs from the original game. Here you can experience the campaign or compete in online multiplayer battles. It is a surprisingly solid traditional base building RTS. Game has 91% of positive review score on Steam. It's hard to ignore this number, it may not be a masterpiece, but it's definitely one of the best RTS games out there. The downside is that almost nobody is playing online anymore. You have to have a friend to test your might in PvP matches, or you know, a mother-in-law. Also, I have to stress out that the game is oriented for those who know what Halo is, but the knowledge is not necessary to play. Rage. The first Rage game is very Falloutish and more loved by players than Rage 2. You know, like your siblings are more loved than you and your family. So Rage is an interesting look into life after the end of everything. And that end came along with an asteroid. Not a very ingenious plot, but I guess still better love story than a zombie apocalypse. You know, there are hundreds of more interesting ways to end the world than these cliché scenarios. For example, beer could become sentient and take over the world, or cats suddenly mutate into psychics and when they are hungry, and that's all the time, they make you dance until you drop dead.
Dance, human, dance for me, meow meow.
I don't know, the possibilities of world ending are actually endless. Why stick to like 7 most boring ones? So here you emerge into this vast wasteland to fight against bandit gangs, mutants and the authority, an oppressive government regime that has a special interest in you in particular. Ghostwire Tokyo. Here the city is overrun by deadly supernatural forces after 99% of the population just vanished, so you will use a powerful arsenal of spectral abilities to fight the paranormal threat and unravel the mystery behind the mass disappearance. It may sound and look a bit like a horror game, but the main emphasis is not on the horror, rather on the fast-paced gameplay where you use your powerful abilities and can fight various ghosts like a true Ghostbuster, or more like a Ghost Eliminator, because you kill them.
How can you kill somebody who's already dead?
Oh, shut up, it's not a science game. And seriously, the game has a rating that allows 12-year-olds to play, so grow your mental balls and dive in. Citizen Sleeper. This is a serious game for serious people and it has above 90% of positive reviews, meaning that this is a great game no matter how you look at it. Citizen Sleeper is a narrative RPG which takes you on Erlen's Eye, a ruined space station that is home to thousands of people trying to survive on the edges of an interstellar capitalist society. You are a sleeper, a digitized human consciousness in an artificial body, owned by a corporation that wants you back. So literally, someone owns your ass and the rest of you, and amongst the unfamiliar and colorful faithful inhabitants of the Eye, you need to build friendships, earn your keep, and navigate the factions of this strange metropolis if you hope to survive. Game is text-based, with multiple endings, beautiful drawings, and sci-fi cyberpunk atmosphere. It's like a great book where you can actually tell the hero what he must do. Eastshade. Nothing shady about this game, in fact it's hard to find some darker corner here. You are a traveling painter exploring the island and capturing the world on your canvas. Talk to the inhabitants to learn about their lives, make friends and help those in need. Visit cities, scale summits, unearth mysteries and discover forgotten places. This is a peaceful open-world exploration adventure where you will compose paintings anywhere in the world. You will offer them to locals to unlock secrets and gain items. Also you will have to acquire crafting materials and schematics to surmount obstacles and solve quests. People on Steam are saying that this is one of the most beautiful games they have ever played, and most only wish that it was like at least 5 times longer. Icewind Enhanced Edition. Made with the same Infinity engine as a classic Baldur's Gate, Icewind is a more battle-oriented game. You will find less side quests and less story, but you will enjoy an amazing atmosphere because the game is really detailed. Also, the party is entirely player-made with no other NPCs offering to join at any given moment. Although this is an enhanced edition, don't expect anything fancy or modern. Yeah, graphics are improved, quick loot is implemented, all the expansions are here, and even quests you never seen before. But those are not new quests. They were just cut off from the original release back in 2000s, so this remaster is like a new paint on an old building. The face is new, but the body is old and it plays like an old game as well, be aware of that. Darkest Dungeon. In this challenging turn-based roguelite RPG, you will recruit and train heroes and send them to battle in a variety of dungeons. Yeah, as always, send others to do your own job. The interesting part is that these said heroes are very, human. In-game they will battle not only enemies but also stress, fear and lack of potato salad, by which I mean hunger. So you will uncover strange mysteries and pit the heroes against an array of fearsome monsters. Game may not look like it's a lot of fun, but it is, believe me. Even though people love this game, at times it can seem punishing and unfair. But in general, Darkest Dungeon is fun if you like numbers, strategy and turn-based combat. Also, players are seeing many similarities with H.P. Lovecraft stories, like The Alchemist and famous Call of Cthulhu as well, not to mention overall dark and gloomy vibes. And now, thank you for watching, have a nice day, and I'll see you next time. Bye!